All right. Well, New York City Mayor Eric Adams says that he is innocent of the charges that he's been indicted on and that he is a target of a political persecution. The kind of political persecution that Democrats insist is not happening has now hit one of their own. And it's interesting to think, like, why this guy, right? He fits the profile. He's got the right skin color. He's a vegan. You never think that they're going to turn on their own. So did he actually do something wrong? And this is just equal justice under the law? Or is this a political persecution? I'm not suggesting either way. I'm going to ask the questions here. That's what I'm going to do. And then we're going to try and put the pieces together. He is the first sitting New York City mayor to be charged in criminal indictment. Fox News was nice enough to sum them up here. Here is the 5 things he's been indicted for. Counts related to campaign finance violations, wire fraud, foreign contributions, and bribery. Interestingly enough, though, the same prosecutor who's leading the indictment is the same man we heard from last week because he is also leading the Diddy indictment. So that dude's busy. His name is Prosecutor Damian Williams. Can we connect Diddy and Adams? Well, we can't yet, but it is a strange overlap. Wouldn't you say? Especially considering this happens 1 year ago from the day that Mayor Adams gave Diddy the key to the city. Watch this. It does not hold up well.
He already has the keys to some pretty exclusive places, and now Sean Diddy Combs can add New York City to that list. It's Diddy Day in the city. Videos have been playing on the Jumbotron for TSX Broadway, and the crowd waited. Then around 11:30, the doors opened for the mayor and the artist.
The bad boy of entertainment is getting the key to the city from the bad boy of politics.
I want to thank y'all for this honor and just recognizing me being from New York, giving me the key to the city. Diddy finally has the key to the city.
Today's event coincides with the release of his new album, The Love Album, Off the Grid.
The Love Album. You might want to change locks, New York City.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's a strange coincidence, but the mayor does call himself the bad boy of politics there, and that's not a good look. Now, the indictment alleges that he took favors and travel from officials from Turkish Airlines and other Turkish business people who then asked him to help him bust through red tape when they needed favors inside New York City. And of course, absolutely, we should want leaders that draw strict lines about political favors, 100%. But is this the kind of thing that New York will really benefit from prosecuting? I'm not minimalizing what he did at all. I really want to ask a legal expert, which we are not. But let's take a look at some of the things that the government is alleging he did. So here's from the indictment. For instance, in June of 2021, he's booking this flight to Istanbul, and one of his staffers says, okay, great. Book the flight. How much do we owe? And I know that's not awesome to see it. If you want to screenshot it and blow it up later or whatever, just follow along with me. And the airline manager said, it's very expensive because it's last minute. I'm working on a discount. And the guy says, okay, thanks. And the airline manager says, I'm going to charge $50. He didn't ask for that favor. The staffer says, no, that wouldn't. And the person says that wouldn't work. And he's like, no, 50. What's the proper price? And they said, well, how much should I charge? And the staffer says, well, he's being watched. How about $1,000 or so? So they know that it's improper. And he's like, no, you can't give us this steep discount. It's got to be, like on the up and up. Okay. I mean, at least they're trying to not take the discount, but they do in fact take the discount because the government alleges that flight would be closer to $8,000. So David, what's your body language on that is like,
It's just all confusing because it's like, this is the little stuff that they're getting into and looking into these like little minute things. But it's like there's such other major things going on right now. And so it's like it just feels like, because when I saw that it said campaign violation, my first thought was, are they trying to set precedent for Trump so they can say, hey, look, we got one of our own doing it too. So it like makes it so like, because a lot of people are like, oh, is that really Trump breaking the law? Where they can say now like, yeah, because Eric Adams did it too kind of thing.
I hadn't thought about that. That's a clever way to think about it. Okay. But yeah, it's like if the airline staffer had come back and said, actually, it's $8,000, it does seem like the campaign was willing to pay the proper price, but they gave him this wink, wink price. And he said, okay, that seems closer. So was it market value? No, but they were saying, don't give us this favor. So I don't know. Okay, you decide, right? That I'm not the jury here. Here's another one where they're trying to coordinate luxury lodging, and the staffer says, where should he stay? And the guy says 4 Seasons. The staffer says, no, that's too expensive, meaning they're trying to actually stay within budget. And the airline manager says, what does he care? He's not going to pay. And the guy says, okay, great. So yes, should he have said I don't know. Again, this, is this actual outright corruption? So here's another one where they're going to depart Istanbul, and he's got he doesn't have a business class ticket, but they give him access to the business class lounge anyway. And so, okay, he's supposed to be in coach, but he gets the lounge, Okay, had he disclosed these things, it might have been okay. But
what is he supposed to be like? Hey, we were getting ready to go to this place. They let me into the lounge. I know they weren't supposed to. That's probably a violation. So I'm just letting you guys know, just in case I did go in the lounge.
Right.
I got bumped up to first class one time on an airline just out of the blue.
Yeah, make sure you.
Make me. Who do I tell?
Is that corruption?
I just told everybody.
Yeah, if you're not a politician, you're probably fine. But
yes. Yeah, right. So, okay, had he disclosed these things, would that have been so bad? Probably not. But he did shoot himself in the foot in this exchange, which you again can find number 27 in the indictment, where he's continuing to conceal the benefits that he's receiving. And then he has this exchange with the airline manager. And this text exchange says, the airline manager says, to be on the safe side, please delete all these messages. And he says, I always do. So that leads the government to believe that there's more in-kind favors. And then when these business people come around and say, well, hey, I want to build this or get a permit here, he's got a direct relationship with the mayor, and that is improper. Absolutely, it should not happen, right? And the mayor should have been more clear. But again, why is this being prosecuted when other corruption inside New York City has gone unchecked? For instance, Mayor Bill de Blasio used his wife's nonprofit to get a ton of money, and $850 million went missing. So if Bill de Blasio accepted money like this and was never prosecuted, would Adams have a defense of selective prosecution? That means one party was charged and one party was not. And was it political favor that one party didn't get charged? So we should ask a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but
and how much are they spending to house migrants right now? Do you know what I mean? Right. Where's that money coming from? That's...
Yeah. And so, okay. And is it do you feel like it's a problem that Mayor Adams got a first class lounge and then maybe now has a personal relationship? And the thing is that those kind of personal relationships are made all the time with politicians, so that you can make a relationship and ask, them for their attention, even if you're doing legitimate business. That's the way this goes. But then the politicians have to say, okay, but they took me to dinner, and they or not accept that dinner, right? This is tricky. This is absolutely
it is, but
tricky.
It's what's the difference of our politicians not doing a damn thing for us and doing everything for lobbyists? Yeah. It's the same. Yeah, granted, they're not foreign, but they are corporations that are paying them to pass legislation that doesn't help us in any way. It helps them. Yes. So it's that is a bigger crime to me, because that ultimately affects us. This does not affect you and me. This might affect New Yorkers maybe, but there's a lot of other things that actually affect us.
Yeah. I mean, if his campaign was paying for those tickets and they got or his office is taxpayer funded and he got a discount on some tickets and he needed to be there for business, right? I don't know.
That would help the taxpayers.
Yeah, he's saving the taxpayers some money. So I don't know. This is for him to fight. He's not a lawyer. He was a former police chief. So he's going to have to get a lawyer to defend himself now. Who will pay for that? Will he have taxpayer funded lawyers? Will it be, taxpayers paying to prosecute him and paying to defend him? And is this this right for taxpayers.
It kind of seems, isn't that kind of funny? It's like, hey, I saved the taxpayers a bunch of money, so now they're going to sue me that I have to spend taxpayer money to fight.
Yes.
It's like,
right? Okay, that's exactly
let's just call it a wash.
Also, we know for sure that Israel influences politicians. We know that. We don't prosecute anyone for being influenced by Israel. In fact, I believe it was The Guardian had leaked emails recently showing that Israel was trying to work around FARA laws by creating nonprofits inside the United States so that politicians would not have to disclose their Israeli ties. Maybe we should look into that, prosecute someone there for taking that money that knowingly came from Israel. No one ever gets, right? Okay. So now Turkey is the problem. Turkey is really influencing our politicians. Okay. And maybe that's true, right? But we got to prosecute it across the board if that's true. So the mayor says that he knew that trouble would be coming for him, if he kept speaking the truth. What is the truth that he was speaking? Well, here's what he said before the indictment was unsealed last night.
My fellow New Yorkers, it is now my belief that the federal government intends to charge me with crimes. If so, these charges will be entirely false, based on lies. But they would not be surprising. I always knew that if I stood my ground for all of you, that I would be a target, and a target I became. For months, leaks and rumors have been aimed at me in an attempt to undermine my credibility and paint me as guilty. Just this past week, they searched the home of our new police commissioner, looking for documents from 20 years ago, just 1 week after he joined my administration. Enough. I will fight these injustices with every ounce of my strength and my spirit.
Okay. So what does he mean by standing his ground? What truth did he tell that made him a target? Well, many are saying that it's because he has been telling the truth about illegal immigration. Watch.
Support. And let me tell you something, New Yorkers. Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City. We're getting 10,000 migrants a month. One time we were just getting Venezuela. Now we're getting Ecuador. Now we're getting Russian-speaking coming through Mexico. Now we're getting Western Africa. Now we're getting people from all over the globe have made their minds up that they're going to come through the southern part of the border and come into New York City. And everyone is saying it's New York City's problem. Every community in this city is going to be impacted. We had a $12 billion deficit that we're going to have to cut. Every service in this city is going to be impacted. All of us. And so I say to you, as I turn it over to you, this is some of the most educated, some of the most knowledgeable, probably more of my commissioners and deputy commissioners and chiefs live in this community. So as you asked me a question about migrants, tell me what role you played. How many of you organized to stop what they're doing to us? How many of you were part of the movement to say, we're seeing what this mayor is trying to do and they're destroying New York City? It's going to come to your neighborhoods. All of us are going to be impacted by this. I said it last year when we had 15,000. And I'm telling you now with 110,000. The city we knew we're about to lose. And we're all in this together. All of us. Staten Island saying, send them out to Manhattan. Manhattan is saying, send them out to Queens. Queens is saying, send them out to Brooklyn. No. It's not the game we can play. Open the floor up.
All right.
I mean,
so you're not supposed to say that.
Yeah, he's a right-wing nut job.
a black vegan right-wing nut job.
Yeah.
If that's what we're doing with labels, absolutely.
That's what we're doing.
All right. I mean, it does seem very coincidental because he's guilty of wrong speak and wrong think. At the same time, another New York official had the same thing happen. New York City Police Commissioner Eddie Cabin resigned 2 weeks ago, and his phones were seized from an investigation. Well, we don't know exactly what he did wrong. Was there actual corruption there? We don't know. Maybe it's related and maybe it's not, but we have seen Cabin say the truth about not just illegal immigrants, but violent illegal immigrant gangs. We played you this clip from February of 2024 in a briefing with the mayor, where he talked about how sophisticated these criminal migrant gangs are. Watch.
Today we are seeing similar situations with migrants. They're essentially ghost criminals. No criminal history, no photos, no cell phone, no social media. Sometimes we're even unclear on a name or a date of birth. And on top of that, these operations are extremely sophisticated. They intentionally try to evade the police.
Okay. So did the fact that he tried to stop them or fight them, we saw the New York Post recently reporting that they can't arrest them. When they do, they have to release them. So this is something they've been talking about. Did that cost them their job? We don't know. Or did they do bad things that we should collectively want them to be prosecuted, not persecuted, prosecuted for?
A business lounge.
Right.
They weren't supposed to. They got a discount from the Turkish government, so sat in a lounge. So we better
Stella
take them out.
Artois, and you were not supposed to. So okay.
Yeah. So let's destroy them.
Okay. Again, I'm not sure, and I've not been the biggest fan of Eric Adams, but I have been listening to his suffering when it comes to the burden of migrants on his city. So, yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think of that.
I mean, it just makes sense that it's the latter, that it's what he was saying about the migrants, because look at everybody else they're going after that's doing the same thing. It's happened to other people in that realm. This Turkish government thing, like how many of our leaders take foreign money? Probably every single one of them.
Or favors, or, you took a ride in a limo, you should have taken an Uber on City Dime, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm saying it to me, it makes sense that it's the immigrant thing.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So let us know what you think.
If you suffer from daily pain, I need you to listen to this message very carefully. What we know about pain relief is changing forever. As we age, aches and pains are normal, and we're all searching for effective ways to relieve pain without side effects and addiction. Let's be frank, we've all seen the horrors of the opioid crisis. You may even be affected personally. Your family might know someone that has been affected by this. That's where a pioneering medical scientist comes in, Clint Winters. You may have seen the world-renowned health expert featured in the national media. He's unveiled a natural pain reliever that has taken the world by storm. And I'm talking about Canoladine, the 100% drug-free way to get full-body pain relief without dangerous pills. As you read this right now, Canoladine has become the go-to pain reliever for over 1 million Americans, hundreds of professional athletes. It was even named as the UFC's #1 official pain reliever for the UFC. Right now, you guys can try it. Go to trykano.com/redacted, and you're going to get it for less than $1 per day. You can access the only Canoladine product in the world for less than $1 per day. Clint has provided this special link for you guys. You can guys get this special discount. Just go to trykano.com/redacted. I see a bunch of people in the chat who've already ordered this. Give it a shot. If you suffer from chronic pain, you don't want to have that addiction from drugs, try kano.com/redacted, the 100% drug-free Canoladine. Try it for less than $1 a day.